Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Lorraine. This is Do Brand You. It's all about you here. It's about you unleashing your potential in every season in life and navigating to your true north. Now, I have a question for you to get to our theme today, and that question is, do you dream? And of course you do. We all have dreams. We all have things that we want to see happen in our life. But I'm going to ask the more difficult question, and that is, do you feel like you deserve the dream that you dream, that you actually deserve it? Because you see, sometimes our sense of worth, our worthiness, can get in the way, and old stories can come into our mind, and we can hear that voice in our head that carries over from years, that limits us from who we actually can become. Now, I have found as I get older that voice becomes maybe a little bit more frequent. Maybe when I dream, I just say, oh, well, that's a little bit too big, or I don't even allow myself to just extend the dream to what I really want it to be. I keep it in this real safe zone. So that's what I want to focus on this session. The sessions that I do and upload once a week are taken from themes that I have found in coaching clients that I have worked with over the years, and I bring them here to you to share them with you, these themes that I have found that are common among many people. So by the end of this session, you're going to see that the stories that form in our head, why they're forming, how to question them, and how to rebuild the beliefs that match you of who you are now. So we all have these inherited beliefs. We all have beliefs in us that we can say to ourselves, I can't do that. That's not realistic. That dream is too big. That's for somebody else to be able to do, but I couldn't ever do that. I'm not that kind of person that can succeed. But pause and ask yourself for a moment, who told you that? Who actually told you that? Now, I will agree that sometimes, yes, teachers come along, or a parent, or a boss, or somebody, and yes, there are people that can come into our lives that will actually say the words, you can't do that, or you are dreaming too big, or that's not something that you will ever succeed at. Now, that's another topic in itself. I mean, we do not need to listen to those stories. But those stories, what I'm focused on this session here, is thinking about those stories influence the stories that we tell ourselves. And those stories that we tell ourselves, so maybe they just come from the experiences that we've had. Maybe we haven't felt successful. Maybe we haven't allowed ourselves to go outside our comfort zone that much. Those beliefs in your identity can start as a quiet little whisper. They start small, and even when you want something to happen, those can limit you from allowing them to happen. I'll share a story with you that back in 2010, I had been teaching in international schools for 15 years. I was teaching mathematics and I had the opportunity to be teaching in different countries. I was actually 5 different countries. But in 2010, I decided to leave the classroom and return to university to get my master's degree and to focus on my master's in education. I love teaching. I love being part of the learning that happens, the transformation that happens when people learn things. But I knew that as the world was changing, technology was becoming more advanced for people to access it and use it in more online spaces. I wanted to explore new pathways to see what was possible for me beyond just sitting in one little classroom. And that year, I actually allowed myself to dream. And I allowed myself to just think of the life that I wanted and to just really visualize that. And what I wanted back in 2010 was that I could work from anywhere, that I would work from anywhere and I would connect with people from all over the world. I knew then that technology was going to catch up, and our technology as it is today allows us to seamlessly connect to other people. Back in 2010, a little bit more challenging, but still it was there. And in that time, that dream has become a reality. I had visualized it, that I would be coaching people online from all parts of the world, that I would be creating courses, which I love to do, and to allow people to take those courses from anywhere and to transform how they are and to improve who they are so that they can unleash their potential. And those courses, I had a dream that I would be able to be with them when they were doing those courses. So I've run cohort courses as well. And that means that people take the course, but they do it in a small group where I can interact with them at the same time. And we're in different countries when it happens. And I had this idea that I would create this group of people that I would have access to. I didn't really know what that looked like. But sure enough, by 2020, things had come so far that there was a platform called Circle that I was able to build the Do community on, which is now almost 5 years old. And I was able to build a business rooted in human connection, and that I could literally travel and be anywhere and be connected to the business that I had created. And that dream is what I live now. But to create that dream, I had to deal with the noise in my head of thinking I wasn't going to really get to experience that full dream. And here's what's fascinating about psychology. Psychology calls these old stories limiting beliefs. They're ideas that formed early in your life, and they feel like facts, but they're not facts. Those limiting beliefs that were trying to keep me back, trying to say, oh, you can't do that. Oh, that's not going to work. They are created to keep us safe. Your brain records moments of failure and rejection. And it builds this protective little wall, these rules that say, well, don't try that again, or stay small, it's safer. But the wonderful thing about our brain is, yes, it tries to protect us, but it also has what they call neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity in our brain is the ability for our brain, even as we get older, they have done studies, even if you're 75, 80, 85 years old, your brain can still rewire itself through reflection, through having new experiences, and having a conscious awareness of what is happening. And when you change a belief, when you ask yourself, well, who told me that? You're literally forming a new neural connection in your brain to make new possibilities come true. So when you intentionally choose to say, wait a minute, that voice in my head that says my dream is too big, or if I say, hey, I dreamed this, but what if I could do this? And that voice says, oh, you can't do that. Play it safe, play it safe. Yeah, your brain's trying to keep you safe. But your brain can be used, and as soon as you step in and say, wait a minute, no, intentionally, I want to expand that. And this is how you begin to shift from old identity to an aligned identity. From living on autopilot to consciously designing what you want to be. I talk a lot here on the channel about to do brand you is to step in the driver's seat or to sit in the driver's seat and grab onto the steering wheel and chart your own life, to write your own narrative. My old identity for me, in my mind, was, which would keep coming back, why do you think you're going to be doing this? You don't even know how it's all going to work. Was telling me, Go back and stay in the classroom. Just only work with people face to face. Don't this online stuff, you'll never connect with people. You'll never be able to coach and teach and create courses that people are really going to get value from unless you're in person. That was what my brain was telling me. But with the world changing and travel becoming easier and technology allowing us to connect so easily online, I had that dream that was far greater than standing in a classroom for the rest of my life. So as we begin to wrap up this session, I want to kind of highlight three key insights from what I shared with you. And the first one to remember is that your beliefs, whatever they are, they shape your reality. If you believe that if something can't happen, that shapes the reality that you have. If you believe in the dreams that you're dreaming, even like for me, that it wasn't actually technologically that possible to do that, even if I believed it could come true, it did come true because it. As we wrap up this session, I want to just highlight three key insights to remember. Now, the first one is always remember that your beliefs shape your reality. They shape the reality that you live in. If you believe if you believe things are not going to happen, if you believe that things are not possible, then that becomes your reality. What you believe about yourself determines what you attempt and what you avoid. So question that voice that says, I can't, or it won't happen to me, or that's something that happens to other people. The second one is always remember that you can rewrite the story. Each time you act differently, each time you choose intentionally to take a risk, to try something, to speak up, to try again, you're teaching your brain a new truth. You're teaching it to believe that you can keep trying, you can keep going for something, and it will work out. We find like with children, they're so good at learning things because they're free to play and they're free to try, and they don't really worry so much about failing. They just try and try. I mean, I remember myself trying to learn how to swim. I remember my daughter trying to learn how to ride her bike. Just kept trying and trying and trying and trying until we could. I never had that belief. I wanted to swim, and that's what it was. That was the dream. She wanted to ride the bike. That was the dream. It didn't matter how many times it took. So you can always rewrite the story. You don't have to believe that voice in your head that says you can't. And the third key insight that I want to share with you today is that worthiness, your self-worth, is not earned. You don't earn your self-worth. You are worthy. You are worthy and you deserve to dream what you dream. That is what you simply have to reconnect with the part of you that actually knows that to be true. Because there's something in you that knows that you are worthy. And if that's a really quiet whisper at the moment, then just spend time listening for that voice, because you are worthy. So this is the Do Brand You channel, and I always like to leave you with one do action step. So here's your do action step for this week. Take 5 minutes, and more if you'd like, and write down one belief that you've been carrying with you around recently that might be limiting you. And ask yourself, who told me that? Where did I hear that? Where did that come from, that I actually believe that I can't do something or I don't deserve something? The second question then is to say, is it really true? Is it still true? Is that true that I can't do that? And then rewrite that story. Rewrite the truth that you want to live and begin envisioning that and believing in that. Small reframes on different parts of our life can lead to powerful shifts. We all have limiting beliefs in some part of our life. And if you spend some time this week to uncover those, you're going to create small reframes that are going to collectively create powerful shifts in who you are and who you're becoming. And that way you'll be able to unleash your potential in the season of life that you're in, that you're navigating to your true north, and you'll be able to do that. So this week, that's all I have for this week. Hit subscribe for weekly updates here on the Do Brand You channel for these coaching sessions. You can have a link in the description. Get the newsletter, my Do Connect newsletter. It will keep you up to date and informed on what's happening and anything that I have to share with you there. And I'll see you next week. Have a great week ahead.